Welcome to Spirits and Screams.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Spirits and Screams. Tonight we are finally deep diving into the 1976 iconic horror film Burnt Offerings. This one stars Karen Black, Oliver Reed, Burgess Meredith, and Bette Davis, and I cannot wait to talk about it. So let's dive right in. Burnt Offerings from 1976. Ben and Marion Rolfe can't believe how cheap the rent is at their giant Victorian summer home. Over time, however, they begin to sense that there's something peculiar at this place and wonder if the house may be responsible. Directed by Dan Curtis, starring Karen Black, Oliver Reed, Burgess Meredith, and Bette Davis. Okay, you guys, I have been obsessed with this film since it first came out back in the day. I don't think I saw it right when it came out, but I think I saw it a couple years after, but around that time anyway. I was pretty young, and it was on TV, I think. That's how I got to watch it. And I remember just being captivated one afternoon watching the whole thing by myself, thinking it was so cool. I recognized some of the actors in it at that time because I'd seen them in a few other things, and the house was just spectacular. I just loved it. Got a story about that too for you. We'll talk about that after. And I also, weirdly enough, the big greenhouse that was inside of the house with all the dead plants that she revives, it was so cool to me because I didn't realize that people had houses big enough to have a whole greenhouse inside of it, that they would have these plants. I thought that was so neat, and I became obsessed with that idea ever since. Such a weird thing. These little things that stick with you, you know, the first time you see a movie and you kind of didn't know about and you kind of fall in love with, but I really did with this film. So many great elements, such great acting. It's just such a good movie all around. And I know a lot of you guys have been talking about it in the comments section for me to review it, or have I seen it, or that you love it kind of thing. Well, today is the day. So Burgess Meredith is in this one. He's a great character, really small part at the beginning, and I remember seeing him in Rocky because I was obsessed with those movies back then too. Couldn't wait to see the next one, and he was so cool in that it was neat seeing him in this one in a different kind of a role in like a horror movie. So that was really fun. And I remember seeing Karen Black in Trilogy of Terror. Oh my God, love that one. And also Easy Rider, another good one. She was so good in those films, and it was really fun seeing her in this one too, kind of very creepy. And of course, the legendary Bette Davis I'd seen her in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. I really remember that one. Jezebel, Dead Ringer. So many films, you know, like she was just on all the time. We always got to see her, but this was a cool role for her because she was more down to earth and more normal, you know, not so dramatic, dressed kind of normal and like a very cool, loving aunt type of deal, kind of a funky older lady. She's older in this role as well. And it reminded me so much of when Leonard Nimoy Spock was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I remember seeing him in that one, and it was such a different role for him, seeing him in regular clothes without the costume, the makeup, without that character going on. It just kind of neat because seeing them in those roles for me back in the day made me feel more connected to them, like that's probably closer to what they were actually like in real life. So it just made me feel that way. Not sure that's how they were in real life. Maybe they were like those bigger characters. I don't know. But it was just kind of neat. It made me feel comforted, you know, to see them that way. And it was just refreshing, really refreshing. So like I said, this was a really fun watch for me on a Saturday afternoon, kind of as a surprise. Kept me captivated the whole way through. Didn't know what was going to happen next. Definitely a good rewatch for sure. I've seen it a whole bunch of times over the years. Recommend it. Yeah, and I haven't read the book. I haven't read the book yet, but should I? You guys tell me in the comment section below, those of you that have read it, because if I should, I've got Audible now, and if it's there, I will check it out. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about the stuff I was going to say about the house that I know. So the house is iconic and beautiful. I mean, it's just amazing. I'd love to go on a tour there, go see it. It is the Dunsmuir House, and it's in Oakland, California. Now, this house has a connection to where I live now, which is pretty cool, and I didn't realize that until I was doing some research on another movie. So, Robert Dunsmuir built a castle here that is called Craigdarroch Castle. He built this for his wife. It's beautiful. They do tours of it. It's really close to me. And they filmed movies like The Boy 1 and 2 there, and I did an actual on filming location video about The Boy. I think The Boy or The Boy 2, I can't remember, but it's in my videos. You can check it out. Pretty fun. Anyways, that was built by Robert. Now, Robert's son, Alexander, actually went to California and built the house that's featured in this film, the Dunsmuir House. I think that's what it's called. And this film, this home is really cool because also another movie filmed there. I can't talk today. Tongue twisted. I got too many things to say. My brain's not working fast enough. You ever have one of those moments? It's tough doing videos, let me tell you, sometimes. Anyway, the house, actually, the movie Phantasm was filmed there as well. So I remember doing a watch party of Phantasm and then putting together The Boy and the names and the construction and the whole kind of thing and thinking, wow, what a small world that is. That both films were created in places that, all the films are created in places that are built by the same family. This family was like a really rich railroad tycoon kind of family. And so they had lots of money and stuff too. But I just think that's really neat. The castle here maybe has some similarities, but to me it's very different looking. I can put a picture of that up here compared to the Dunsmuir House where this movie was filmed. Really different, but I'm hoping one day to visit that location because I'd love to do a little video, filming location thing there as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Have you guys ever been to that house? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what it's like, what it's all about, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, now let's get into the film. Just so you know up front, this review's gonna have spoilers, so if that's not cool, then click off now, go watch the movie if you haven't seen it, and come back and tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below and we can chat. I don't want to ruin it for you. Probably a lot of people have seen it, but it's still kind of an underrated kind of film, and not lots of people have talked about it, and it is pretty old too, so there's probably a lot of you young people that haven't seen it yet. Go check it out, come back, we'll talk. Okay, the opening shot of this film is iconic. You've got the classic station wagon from the 70s, the family, the mom, the dad, the little boy, he's like probably 12 or something like that. They're dressed in 70s fashion, they're talking that way. The classic shot, driving up to the house, that they drive up, and it's just so extravagant and amazing for the price that the people are asking for it, for them to rent it for the summer. And so they're just kind of like blown away. And it's just like this crazy, huge mansion type of a deal. I mean, I just don't think they make houses like that anymore, unfortunately, sadly. And then when we enter it, oh my God, grand staircase and tall ceilings and all the fixtures and the moldings and everything, just amazing. So Karen Black's character is named Marion. She's the mom. And the husband's name is Ben. He's played by Oliver Reed, and they have their son. They're coming into the house. They are meeting up with this brother and sister, elderly brother and sister, who are trying to rent out the place for the summer because they can't upkeep it and take care of it. So they want someone there. They're going away, and someone that can kind of take care of the house. There's a little catch. Their elderly mother is in the attic, or the room upstairs, on the top floor, and they have to not take care of her or deal with her or talk to her at all, but just bring her specific menu of food for every meal every day to make sure that she's eating. And that's it. That's the catch of the whole thing. But they're kind of quirky, this sister and brother. Burgess Meredith plays Arnold, and Eileen Heckert plays Roz. I love her too. And then they have a caretaker named Dub Taylor plays the character, and the character's name's Walker. He's kind of says too much a little bit, but he gets in trouble right away, and then he stops talking. It's all very quirky, but Marion falls in love with the place immediately. You know, she sees all the pictures of people, you know, in these old frames all over the place, and the beautiful glassware and tables and furniture, and just the state of the place is just so amazing. She just basically talks her husband into, let's do this. He's thinking it's a little bit crazy because it's too cheap for what it's worth, and having to look after the mom, and just the place is so huge to upkeep that he's kind of reluctant, but she talks him into it. They're kind of a really quirky, cute family, you know, very common for the 70s, and really fun with their son. So it all starts out very light and jovial and loving and fun, and then things kind of go darker and darker and darker and creepier as we go along, because the house just seems to have a life of its own, and it takes them over. So when they're talking to the brother and sister, they're really quirky. It's so good. The sister saying, "Will you love the house the way that brother and I do?" So crazy. It's like, you know, right there's something wrong with it, but the price is so cheap. They're like, oh, we got to take it. So they do agree to take it. And, you know, they come with all of their stuff packed up the next day, and they go there, and the brother and sister are not even there. There's just a note, you know, take care of the mother, feed her, don't go into her room, that kind of thing. And so very quickly, Marion becomes obsessed with the house and keeping it clean and tidy and perfect, and she slowly kind of transforms into someone like from decades before, wearing the clothing of that era and kind of fitting into the house. And the whole family, the tension just bubbles up and boils, and they completely start to pull apart from each other. The dad, Oliver Reed, his character Ben, man, he's so crazy. He's such a sweet guy, really cool 70s kind of dad, and really gets along well with his son, really loves him very much. But slowly there's tension there, and there's a few moments where he tries to kill him, you know, like drown him in the pool when they're swimming. And it's kind of neat, as the house kind of gets cleaned up, it transforms into this whole new thing. It's a beautiful swimming pool. Like I said, Marion fixes the greenhouse so that all of the plants come back to life, and they're thriving, and the house just becomes alive again. Really amazing. But the characters themselves start to really degrade and fall apart, and there's so much tension between all of them, and it's just really bizarre stuff. You're not exactly sure what's going on, you know, it's not very straightforward. You kind of don't find out till near the end what's happening there. And also they come along with Aunt Elizabeth, played by Bette Davis, and she's aunt on Ben's side, Ben's aunt, but they both call her Aunt Elizabeth. All of them call her that. And she's a super fun, she's older, but she's super fun and hip and wild kind of character that's really amazing, and really loves the son a lot too. And yeah, she gets there, and slowly but surely she becomes like aged and forgetful, and you know, she ends up winding down and like passing away. It's really sad. Really, really crazy, but man, she's so cool. Like, the characters she's played have been so varied over her lifetime, and man, she just was so amazing. Nobody like her, that's for sure. But this character even was another stretch, you know, different kind of character that she really throws herself into that's really believable. I really love that about her. Really, really fun. And it's the best kind of a horror movie, because it's the kind of story that's doomed from the start, and there's no hope. You know, you're not coming out of this. No one's going to get rescued or be saved or free or anything. It's screwed. You know, life as you know it is never going to be the same again. But you go in thinking it's so beautiful and so wonderful and amazing, nothing bad could happen, and you're totally wrong. I love those kinds of horror movies because they're the kinds, like I've said before, that you shut off and it makes you think. You know, like, what if they had done this instead of that? Maybe they'd still be alive. What if, you know, she had not gone back into the house? What would have happened? But it's kind of like she probably would have been screwed anyways. I think she was completely overtaken by the house even before she went back in. Aunt Elizabeth, she's like out in the garden with all the flowers and stuff, like outside painting. I just love that. I think that's so neat. I would have loved to have met all of these actors, you know, that would have been something amazing, but oh well, they live on in the movies, right? The first big thing that happens where you start to know that things are going to kind of get bad is Marion's bringing the food up to the old lady upstairs and she's not eating, you know, she's finding tray after tray of food completely intact with nothing eaten, and she starts to worry because she knows, you know, something's going to happen to this old lady and she's going to be in a lot of trouble if anything does, but she's not eating. That's not good. So she can't go into the room, and the lady doesn't respond back to her and stuff like that. Never once in my brain during the whole thing did I think, there's nobody in there. You know, there's nobody in there. The house is alive, and, you know, the Karen Black's character is going to get possessed at the end. Never did I think that throughout. That's what was so cool about it. I don't know how they did that, but they had a way of just making it that way that you got distracted by all of the elements that you never really thought about that. Like, you know what, now if I watched it, I'd be like, knock down the door. What if she's had a heart attack or something like that? But I guess something supernatural was compelling her to not enter into the room and not deal with it, for that anxiety to build. I don't know. So crazy how they do things like that. I love writers. I love the writers of movies, you know. I think that's such a talent. So amazing, especially when they do a really good one like this, and so neat how that happens. But anyway, you've got these characters, they're revitalizing the place, everybody's thriving, but slowly there's these weird tensions and things happening where the whole family's being divided and split apart. Aunt Elizabeth is becoming elderly and forgetful and feeble and tired all the time and getting old really quickly. And Marion is obsessed with this house, so much so that she's kind of neglecting her husband and son. The father is getting very angry and taking out all this anger and, you know, frustration, being very violent and abusive towards the son, towards the wife, and totally out of his character, not like him whatsoever. And the son's just terrified all the time and never used to be, and they're stuck in this place. And it's kind of ironic because they paid such a little amount of money for the space that you think they would just pack up and take off right away, but they don't. They kind of stick there and stay and tough it out, and it's just really crazy. And there's some weird dream sequences and stuff. It's just really playing with their minds and your mind as you're watching the thing. And it's definitely a haunted house type of film, but it almost has like little influences of the demonic. You know, there's little things that are happening that perhaps maybe there's demons infesting this place and going to take them over, or are taking them over bit by bit. So it's pretty creepy. I found it really scary. And also Ben, when he starts to kind of come unraveled, because he's just starting to lose it, he just can't hack it. There's a moment where his son is drowning. I think he was drowning, and he's basically paralyzed. He can't move. He can't do anything about it. He has these moments. It's summertime, right? So it's hot, but where he's just, his eyes just have so much tension in them, and he's sweating, just perspiring like crazy, and he just looks like he's gonna explode. That acting moment with him, Oliver Reed, at the time was so memorable to me. You know, it just stuck with me. It's one of the things I really remember from this film. So amazing how he was able to do that. I love actors that can do that. I don't even know what kind of acting that's called, but I love seeing that because that's talent, and it really kind of drew me in and made me very nervous for the son, like what was going to happen to him. I was so worried for him throughout because of that, and felt so bad for Ben because he he was such a nice, sweet, caring family man, you know, before they started. Pretty cool. And so to see him unravel that way and go that way, that he knows something's going on that's wrong, but he's having to fight against his own body to stop things from happening. And absolutely can't explain things, you know. It's not something that they're all well versed in, ghosts and haunted houses and the supernatural and all that kind of stuff. So really, really tense and amazing. And everything is very kind of subtle and realistic, you know. It's like you're not seeing CGI heads spinning around and stuff like that. It's very realistic. So even Marion kind of transforming her, it's really good acting is what it is, transforming from this normal woman into someone who's really gone over the top loopers, you know. And it's just so much left to your imagination of things that are happening from the subtle little clues that you're getting, that to me, that is terrifying. So scary. It just makes you look twice at everyone around you after you've seen the movie. You know, you're gonna see something crazy going on or something like that. But I love those kind of films. They're my favorite. So Aunt Elizabeth does, like I said, sadly pass away, and the son and his dad, they're really sad about it. But Marion's just, like I said, loopers. She's in this house, take care of it. She doesn't care about nothing else. She's so happy with how things are going there, how great the house looks. But at that point, Ben kind of decides that this is crazy. We do need to pack up and get the heck out of here. But Marion, he just can't convince her. She just does not want to leave. Then finally, towards the end, a lot of shit happens, and she agrees to leave. But then they get all packed up in the car and they're ready to go, take off, never look back. And the place won't let them leave. And she actually just can't live without going back upstairs to tell the old lady that she's leaving, because she's worried that if she doesn't, the old lady's going to be like not able to eat or have any, not that she's been eating anyway, but like they just don't want it. She doesn't want to abandon her, you know, in case something happens to her. She would feel terrible. And it's like, no, don't go back in. Classic moment. And of course, everything goes wrong. You know, the dad sitting in the car with the kid going, when is she coming back down? When is she coming back down? This is taking forever. He's like, oh, I gotta leave you and I gotta go back in. So Ben goes back into the house to go look for her. And he opens the door and he sees her sitting in the chair in that room, empty room with nobody else there. And she's super old looking. So freaking creepy. And he ends up getting tossed out the window, smashes through the glass down to hit the car, and you know, he's gone right in front of the sun. Oh my God, what an iconic, amazing end to a movie. I remember back in the day watching that and thinking, wow, did not see that coming. I loved this movie so much. I really, really did. Really fun. And it's super fun to revisit too. It's equally just as fun. It's a bit of a slow burn, you know, compared to modern movies, but I don't care. It's a good film. Also, when the dad's killed, the house starts to crumble down and it crushes the kid, and then all of a sudden things are revitalized again, and the brother and sister come back. You hear their voices and you see the photo frames, and then Marion and Dean, the son, they're all in photos in the frames, in the collection of all the photos of different people. And you realize there's been generations and generations of different people that have come to the house and never left, kind of thing. So cool, so scary. And there's like a music box, creepy music kind of plays as we leave, you know, the end of the film. So good, so fun. Loved it so much. I've been wanting to talk about this one for so long. I cannot wait to hear your comments in the comments below. You know, there's probably so much stuff that I missed. I love hearing all those little trivia bits that you guys have for the films. Yeah, so you guys, for my review, I'm definitely giving this one a hard 5 out of 5. A Spirits and Screams cult classic. I freaking love this film. Highly recommend that you check it out. I really, really do. Or give it a rewatch. It's really fun. Oh, and another big thing. The last time I talked to you, I was close to 1,000 subs. And guess what happened? Right after, I hit 1,000 subs. So thank you guys so much for supporting me wanting to visit with me and subscribing to my channel and all that. That's so amazing. It took me 4 years to do this. Lots of ups and downs, and it's been well worth it. It didn't hit me until I hit that number and I realized, wow, I did it. I never dreamed I could do it. You kind of get to a point where you sort of give up on it. You just keep doing this because you love doing it. You forget about the numbers and all that kind of thing. But then when you finally get there, you're like, I worked really hard to get here. I'm really happy, and I've had a lot of great memories over the years. And let's head on up to the next level, 2,000 subs. I can't wait to hit that. That'll be something else. Boy, oh boy. I never dreamed in a million years that I would get there. So I think that's really, really cool. I just love talking about movies and doing this so much, and listening to you guys share your thoughts on them too. I just find that just amazing. Just amazing. I also wanted to let you know I'm still working on product for my website and the horror comic book and all that kind of thing. I'm kind of glad I didn't get my shit together now for that and had everything on the website ready for Christmas, because sadly, Canada Post is on strike. So shipping stuff would have to be bumped up to UPS or FedEx. And for us in Canada, to ship, it's expensive. And to bump it up from Canada Post up to the next level makes it even more expensive. And so I'm sort of glad I don't have everything done yet. I'm thinking up new products. I'm just going to create a whole ton of stuff, get everything done, then launch the website, and that'll probably happen sometime in the spring, I think, and do it that way, because, you know, things happen for a reason, and I really believe that. I don't believe pushing things or rushing stuff, so that's why there's no product or website launched yet, but it's coming, and it's going to be incredible, I promise you. I'm so excited about the horror comics too. They're going to be a lot of fun as well, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. The website and everything is linked down below. I've got Patreon as well if you're interested in that. Yeah, and if you guys like this video, don't forget to give me a like, because it helps me out a lot, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you want, you don't have to, but if you want, that would be awesome. You can be part of the crew. You'll get notified when I do more videos. I will be doing live streams again too. I'm just not kind of there yet. I'm working hard on just getting caught up on video reviews and kind of enjoying that for now, but that'll happen soon too. It'd be cool to actually chat with you guys in the live chat. It's been quite some time since I've done a live stream. So I'm putting those on hold for a while. I was having some technical issues, glitches and stuff with StreamYard, kicking me off and not, it just spiraling off the internet kind of thing. So hopefully by the time I get back at that, it'll be all resolved. Yeah, so you guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna see you again really soon on the next one. See you guys.